Welcome. We are live. So glad you are here. Casey Fight 30-day challenge to magically reduce your stress, having fun. Excited that you're back for another day. It is day 7, last day of the first week. Woohoo! You made it. Awesome. So just a reminder that you can also participate in this any way you'd like. Feel free to take 5 minutes here, 15 minutes, do some, do all. Please don't do none. Take what you like and leave the rest. So we're going to dive in this morning or this afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. We're going to start our session with a mindfulness practice. And this practice is called 1-point focus. So it's a deep, concentrative, meditative type mindfulness practice that really keeps you in the present moment. And I was just actually watching Brene Brown video yesterday, and she was saying, another great word for mindfulness is paying attention. And don't we all need that in this day and age with so much that's going on in the world? Sometimes it's hard to simply pay attention because there are distractions everywhere. So this mindfulness practice is to focus on one thing. So I'd like you just to find an object in your environment. I'm going to focus on this little medallion here. So I'm going to set it up in a way that I can just see it and focus directly on it. So I encourage you to take this time and pick that one object. And just for about 3 minutes, we're going to just simply look at this one object. You can be aware of your peripheral vision, but just focus all of your energy on this one object, whatever it is, big or small. Focus on the breath. If the mind gets distracted and you start thinking about other things, and just come back to this one object. Actually, I'm going to move my object a little bit higher. So just find that object, take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. I'm going to set a timer, and that's something that I really like to do to help me stay focused as well. Is, the timer will go off and it'll remind me. So we're going to do 3 minutes. I'm going to set 3 1-minute timers. So just breathing in and breathing out, focusing on this object. And part of the practice is just to simply be aware of what shows up for you. Just like any skill, we keep practicing and it'll change. Focusing on that object, come back to it if you got distracted. One of the keys of this practice of focusing on one object or one point is to come back with kindness. So don't beat yourself up for getting distracted or losing focus on that object. Just come back with kindness and refocus. 1 more minute. Okay, bring your awareness and your attention back. So, how was that for you? So, for me, quite a few distractions. I've been really itchy lately, which I just realized recently as I ran out of my allergy pills, and I'm basically allergic to everything. So, made that connection. And then an alarm actually went off on my phone because before I started this 30-day challenge, I set an alarm for an appointment. So I think when I touched it, I probably snoozed it. So now I'm going to take a moment to just turn it off so it doesn't come back up again. But that's life, right? We're going to always have these distractions, things that are going to draw us away from the present moment, but we just keep coming back. We keep practicing coming back. I know when I first started learning to meditate, do mindfulness, I don't know, 25 years ago or so, I was so hard on myself. And I was just like, oh man, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stay focused? I keep getting distracted. I keep thinking of this and that. This was way before I knew I even had ADHD. And that wasn't helpful. That was really, in many ways, harmful, right? To keep beating myself up. But that was also a pattern I had learned in my upbringing is, to beat myself up when I didn't do a good job. Um, and what I've learned, some wisdom is just, this is life. It's distracting. We just keep coming back, and it's really a practice. We sometimes assume that we should be an expert at something the first time we learn it, and hey, I should be able to pay attention in the moment. But it's not. It doesn't work that way. It's much harder than we realize. So the next mindfulness practice that we're going to do is similar, but it's one pointed focus just on our breath. So this time we were looking out at a physical object, first one. Now we're going to close our eyes and just focus on the breath. And we've done several different breathing techniques. I would like you to find what works for you. For me, I just like to breathe in and out of my nose and focus on the breath. Sometimes I count, sometimes I just focus on the in and out. So finding what works for you. This time we're just going to do this for about 2 minutes so that we have plenty of time for our yoga poses. So I'll set the timer again. I'll give you a 1 minute um, after and to set up for the last minute. So um, just think about, giving it your all. If you were to go out and play a sport and you were on a team, you would want to give your all to your teammates. Really give your all to spend these 2 minutes. It sounds like such a short time, but it can also feel like an eternity when you're trying to focus on one thing. But give yourself permission and really challenge yourself to do this for these 2 minutes. You ready to begin? So just close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. And just focus on that breath for 1 minute right here, right now. So 1 more minute. Refocus back onto that breath. Slowly begin to open your eyes. So, how was it? I would love to hear. Drop me a comment, send me an email. What was that like for you? I think that these are conversations that we just don't have in our society. It's like how easy or challenging it may be to just simply be present. And so, we can easily sit down and watch a TV show or Netflix for half an hour, but that is this outward um, focus. So we're focusing and almost forgetting who we are inward and completely absorbing ourselves in these shows. And yes, we're probably sitting still for 30 minutes. But 1 minute of inward focus on the breath, or 1 minute on specifically an object that's not necessarily taking us outside of ourselves, can be really challenging. And why is that? Something to examine, something to look at, because we can spend a lot of our time on this earth really like so focused outward and almost wasting time or just getting through it. But there's such a beauty and a valley of peace and joy and so much goodness within, turning inward to breathe, to be present, to focus on um, who we are and how we're showing up in the world, I think is a really powerful thing. I know I'm trying to create that life that I don't need a vacation from, right? That I don't need to get away from my life. Of course, I want to go to the beach. I want to have that vacation time. But I also want to really enjoy the day to day and the moment. So mindfulness is such a powerful practice. So I appreciate you joining me in these two mindfulness practices today. Hope they were beneficial. So now we're going to transition into some yoga poses. So you may notice I have a different chair today, and we're going to move with our chairs in a little bit different way. So we're actually going to stand up, and I'm going to move my chair back. So give you a little bit of time. You might want a different chair. You can see I have the kitchen chair here, or the dining room chair. And actually, I take that back. I'm going move however you like. I'm just moving for the camera so that you can see me. And so we're going to start with a downward dog or an L pose with our chair. So you're going to bring your hands to the back of your chair, standing nice and tall. And then we're going to walk our feet back, stretching those arms out. They can be resting on your chair. And we're going to look for creating an L shape in our bodies. So from the hip or the ankles to the hips, or a straight line, my hips to through my torso, and my arms are straight, and I'm going to let my chin simply come down towards the ground. So this is such a great stretch. Stretch out for the upper back, lower back, hips, lower body. We want to keep a slight bend in our knees here. We never want to fully lock out. Sometimes it might look like we are, but let your head come down so that your back of the neck is long. So you're getting a nice long stretch. We also want to gently draw the belly in here, engaging through our core. So hold here and breathe. We're going to hold for 5 breaths. Breathe into the stretches, into the muscles, into the body. Try to relax any tension, lighten the fingertips if you can, so you're not gripping onto that chair, but you're stable. Find what works for you. Nice long, deep breaths in and out of the nose. This may seem really simple, but I don't know about you, I'm feeling this. So breathe. Sometimes we can be very rounded here. So depending on your yoga, depending on your practice, you want to work towards really having that length. Imagine you have your favorite cup of tea or coffee on your back, and you're trying to hold it there like a table without spilling it. Breathe in and breathe out. One more breath here. And then very slowly begin to bend at the hips. Walk those feet in and release. Again, you can do some shoulder rolls, up, back, and around. And you can keep your chair where it is, or I'm going to move mine again just so that you could see me for demonstration purposes. So we're going to sit on our chairs. kind of at the edge, front edge of the chair. So there's plenty of room behind you in the back of the chair. So now we're going to do some warrior poses. We're going to take the right foot, point those 5 toes towards that front edge of the short edge of the mat. Or if you don't have a mat, that's okay, just towards that direction. And then you're going to stretch the other leg back behind you. So we're going to press that knife edge of the foot, the outside edge of the arch, towards that back leg. So this is warrior 2. So we're opening here through the hips. Our knee is lined up over the ankle. And I can look out and I can see my big toe. So that's going to be this opening through the inner thighs. We want to work towards our shoulders being right over our hips. So we're not going to be leaning forward or back. We're going to try to find that straight alignment. And then we're going to stretch our arms straight out at shoulder level. So sometimes it's funny, you don't always realize if you're higher or lower. So sometimes this is where mirrors or your camera can be helpful for you to see. And we're lunging into that right leg for our warrior 2. So we're going to hold here, take a nice deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. 2 more breaths here. And so now we're going to add a little bit of movement into our warrior 2 here. We're going to inhale, stretch the arms overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, lunge back into the arm position, warrior 2. Inhale up, exhale out 5 times. Inhale up, exhale down. 2 more. 1 more time. Good. Relax those arms down. Keep the legs as they are. Roll those shoulders up and back. Before we do the other side, we're going to do our peaceful warrior. Stretch those arms back out and then reach that right arm to the sky. Left arm just comes down the leg. So sometimes it's called reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. If you're comfortable, look up at your top hand. If that is just too much for your neck here, look straight ahead, or you can look down. Again, we always want to find that core slightly engaged. It's like the nibs, the ribs are knitting in. You know, when your mind thinks faster than your mouth. Your nibs, I said it again, your ribs knitting in. I'm pretty sure that's an ADHD thing. Breathe here. Reverse warrior. And then release those arms down, roll it out. And then just gently lean back, bring your legs back to center, and shake them out a little bit. It could be a little bit intense. Chair yoga is so good for all of us. So we're going to switch sides. We're going to take the right leg back this time. Again, that knife edge of the mat of the foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat, and the toes are in line with that front edge. So adjust yourself as you need to on your chair. Shoulders are right over those hips. Again, drawing in through the belly, just slightly stretching the arms out. Hold here and breathe. If your shoulders are a little tight up by the ears, you can relax them down. I always like to joke that our shoulders were earrings in their past life, so they like to be up by the ears. So we relax those down. Hold here and breathe, gazing out over the left middle fingertips. And let's float our arms 5 times. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, back out. Down. 3 more. So if you were doing warrior 2 standing, with this movement, you could also straighten and bend the legs. Holding here. Let's drop that right arm down, left arm up to the sky. Reverse warrior. Gaze can look up towards that top hand. Right hand just rest down behind you. Peaceful warrior, breathe. They say that the side of the body here where the ribs are is the doorway to the soul. So opening up the heart. And gently release down, let the arms come down. Gently release those legs, come back to center. Roll those shoulders up, back, and around. All right, I'm going to come forward a little bit more here to get a little bit closer for our breathing exercise. So get into a nice comfortable seat, sitting up tall. And the breath that we're going to focus on today is simply counting and lengthening the exhale. So many of us don't actually exhale all of the air out. And we want to think of like almost like squeezing that tube of toothpaste, getting that last bit out, right? So stale air can basically stay stuck in the lungs and in the body. So we want to really work on releasing that. And the exhalation is really what calms our parasympathetic nervous system, helps us relax to a deeper level. So just find a comfortable seat, both feet flat on the floor. And I do like to do this one with the eyes closed, but you're welcome to keep them open if you'd like. So what we're going to do is I'm going to count up to 4, and then we're going to count down and out, exhale to 6. So we're going to inhale to 4 and exhale to 6. Are you ready to begin? So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, breathing normally. Couple more breaths here. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And just take a moment to notice. We did 5 rounds. Breathing in, 4 counts. Breathing out, 6 counts. So how did that feel? Was it challenging to keep breathing out? Or was it okay, pretty normal? Just notice what that was like for you. You can continue to do more rounds. You may have noticed if you had your eyes open or not, but I was counting on my hands. Sometimes it's easy to lose track. So whatever you need to do to practice. And again, as I mentioned, I've been sharing a variety of different breathing techniques through this series. So finding ones that work for you, noticing how you feel after each one in a way that's like, oh, this would really be good in this situation or in this scenario, or this is calming or cooling, and this would be good before bed or first thing in the morning. So these are really powerful practices to invigorate, to energize, to bring us more to life so that we can enjoy our daily activities. So I hope that you've enjoyed our practices today. Just a little review. We did our one pointed focus on an object. So just for a couple of minutes, we focus on one object. Then our second mindfulness practice, we focus on simply focusing on our breath as that one object. So just focusing on breathing as a mindfulness practice for concentration and focus. And then we did our yoga poses. We got the L down dog in at the back of our chair. You can also do that up against a wall. We did our warrior and movement with the arms, and our reverse warrior or peaceful warrior, some people call it, on both sides on the chair. So kind of leveraging sitting on that chair with our legs extended. And then finishing here with our counting breath of inhale to 4, longer exhale to 6. So I hope that you enjoyed our practices today. Please keep practicing. I encourage you to do a little bit of something every day. One of my mottos is some is better than none. So enjoy. If you'd like, join your hands to your heart, palms can press, or one can be on top of the other. To close our practice, feel free to repeat after me. The light inside of me sees and honors the light inside of you. And that means namaste and play, or have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me.